Hello, my name is Larry Leutenegger. I'm a gunsmith and CEO of Patternmaster Chokes. The purpose of this today is I'm going to try to explain the technology behind Patternmaster and some of the ways that I can help you sell our product at the stores. What makes Patternmaster different than all the other tubes? Well, ever since shotguns been around, they've always tried to control the patterns with constriction. Well, one of the bad things about that is it's like dumping sand in a funnel. Everything can't pass through. You end up with a very long shot string. When you're shooting at something that's moving or flying, and you have 20 foot of shot string, even if you hit what you're shooting at, you missed with more of your pattern than what you hit it with. What is shot string? Shot string is when all of your BBs leave the barrel. Your shot string is from your first BB to your last BB. Okay? With constriction type tubes, that shot string can get up to 20 feet long. It just scatters out because you're running it through a constricted area, and it just lengthens the shot string. By using Patternmaster or the Code Black with the stud technology, what you're doing is you're allowing everything to exit at the same time without the constriction, so everything stays together and produces a extremely hard-hitting impact. When your geese and your ducks fall, you're not chasing cripples. They're dead when they hit the ground. What makes Patternmaster different? This is a Patternmaster cutaway tube, and I've cut this away so you can actually see what's inside. And if you look in here, you'll see that there's a series of 5 little blocks or studs located inside the tube. What they do, first of all, Patternmaster doesn't use constriction to control the patterns. We do it with this stud ring, and this is how it works. As the wad travels through the tube, carrying the shot, and the base of it hits that stud ring, it will retard this just long enough for all of your shot to go out at the same time. So what we've just done there is we've taken a 20-foot shot string and we brought it down to 2 to 2.5 feet. Now when you put that on your game or your prey or your geese, your ducks, whatever you happen to be shooting, you're going to hit with 90% of your pattern all at one time versus maybe 10% that you actually was using before with a constriction tube. The way that we can control the size of the pattern, we don't do it with changing internal dimensions. The Patternmasters, whether they're classic or Code Black, they're the same dimensions inside. The way that we can control how large the pattern gets is by the amount that sticks out the end of the barrel. You'll notice on the goose tube, you'll have 1.5 inches that sticks out the end. The reason for that, the wad inside of a 3.5 shell is 1.5 inches long. So we make this so when the base of that wad hits in here in the stud ring, everything is still inside here when it separates the shot from the wad. And that produces a very full pattern at extreme ranges with a 3.5 inch shell. Well, everybody doesn't want a super full tube, and everybody's not shooting 3.5 inch ammo. If you're shooting 2 3/4 or 3 inch, all you would need is our long range. Our long range would accommodate the shorter wad that's inside the 2 3/4 and 3 inch. Now, and it would still produce a full to an extra full pattern. Now, everybody still would like to have something more open for a different type game. The way that we do that is, you notice how much we're cut back right here. In the Patternmaster, the long range is this length. We have a mid-range, which would be cut back half of this, so you'd have about a 1/2 inch that stuck out the end of the barrel. Now, the reason we do that, when the wad comes through carrying the shot, and this is cut back halfway, you'll notice you have a 1/2 inch of wad that is sticking out the front of the tube, allowing the BBs go into a larger circle. Okay, So your pattern gets bigger this way, but it still stays very short and dense this way. Now, to take it one step farther than that, what we do is we'll cut it all the way back to this length. Now you have the whole wad sticking out the front, allowing to open up when you take the wad away from the shot. So it just got larger again this way, but still very short this way. That's how the Patternmaster stud technology works. The stud ring is inside of our Patternmaster Classics. They're available in black and silver. They're also available in ported and unported. And they also have a extended range, a long range, a mid-range, and a short range. Now, we also use this studded technology inside of our Code Black, some of our Code Black tubes. The Code Black has got a very nice bronze, it's a titanium nitrate coating. It's the same thing they put on machine tools to make them last. We coat it with that after they're made. Now, they also have the stud technology. Now, this length right here in the Patternmaster Classic would be called the extended. In the Code Black, it's called the goose. The reasoning for the Code Black, a lot of people would come in, and when we got making a lot of different tubes, they would come in for a tube. They would be confused because they didn't know which one to buy. They didn't want to buy the wrong one, so they'd leave the store without a tube. So when we come up with our Code Black series, it says right on the tube what it's for. This, for instance, the long one is called the goose. The shorter one would be called the duck. We have the short range, which is called the upland, decoy, pigeon, timber, all of those different names depending on where the market is that we're selling them. The difference in the Classic and the Code Black, for one, the color. The Classic has a dark black finish on it, nitrate finish, and the Code Blacks have a titanium PVD coating on them, which is the same thing they use on machine tools to make them last. The Classic Patternmasters, the ones that have been around for the last 23 years, is available in the extended range, ported, unported, the long range, ported, unported, mid-range, and short range. And they're available in the black or the silver. Now, the Code Black are available in the turkey, goose, duck, upland, pigeon, decoy, timber. The timber, decoy, upland are all the same tube, actually. They're the same tube. But the ones that we send to England, they like them in packaging that says pigeon, because in Europe they shoot a lot of pigeons, and that's the way they want them over there. What makes them different? If you take the extended range Patternmaster Classic and the Code Black Goose, internally they're the same, all the same dimensions. It's the finish on the outside, and on the packaging it says right on it, Goose. So you'll know which tube to pick if you're going goose hunting. The long range Patternmaster in the Code Black line is called the duck. If you're going duck hunting, it's on the packaging. It tells you which one to pick. The Code Black is not available in the mid-range like it is in the Classic. It goes right to the short range, which is not really called short range. It's called upland, decoy, timber, and pigeon.